You've probably heard about cancel culture.
If you do something racist online or in person, you're canceled. People may be protected by freedom of speech, but that doesn't mean there aren't consequences to pay. There are plenty of examples, and the outcome goes beyond embarrassment. Good evening. I'm Jason Martinez.
I'm Shayna Humphreys. This kind of cancellation can lead to losing friends or even losing a job.
From NASCAR's banning of the rebel flag to the tearing down of the statue of George Washington, things in the United States are getting canceled. Perhaps somewhere there has to be a point where these things have gone too far. But in the current situation where America is focused on the killing of George Floyd, it is the political conservatives who are crying foul the most often when it comes to this cancel culture. When Ivanka Trump's commencement speech was canceled a few days following the apparent abuse of protesters outside of the White House, Ivanka tweeted, "Our nation's campuses should be bastions of free speech. Cancel culture and viewpoint discrimination are antithetical to academia." Texas Senator Ted Cruz also chimed in on cancel culture.
Ted Cruz tweeted this out 14 hours ago. He said, "Here's a radical idea. Don't censor Gone with the Wind. Don't censor Blazing Saddles. Don't censor Quentin Tarantino. Don't censor anything."
But wait a minute. Cruz is against kneeling during the national anthem. I don't want to get into a legal debate here, but several Supreme Court cases seem to clearly indicate that actions such as kneeling during the national anthem are in fact speech that is protected by the First Amendment of the Constitution.
Ted Cruz, someone I'd boycott, wants to boycott the rich, spoiled athletes who are taking a knee. So is he trying to punish them for exercising their right for free speech?
You know, he's a rarity, Ted Cruz, because here you have a United States senator that doesn't know the Constitution. And maybe he needs to read it.
Constitutionalist.
Well, then how come he's going against the Constitution?
But he has the right to protest their protest.
Yeah, he's calling for a boycott, though.
He doesn't make it all right, but he has the right to.
He's a smart guy, though. He is a smart guy, but he's selective about, like, if these people were supporting something that he liked, I have a feeling that he'd be all for it.
Right.
But because this is against something that he doesn't believe in, what it sounded like to me, and I like Ted Cruz on a lot of issues, is he was saying, he was denying the fact that this flag represents their right to disagree with him and anybody else. Mm-hmm. These people, you don't have to like it. I don't like it. I love this country. I love our national anthem. I don't love what they're doing, but I will defend their right to protest something peacefully till the day I die, because that's what this country stands for. And he has to stand by that.
Absolutely. There's one thing to be sensitive, another thing when, you, as you say, it spins out of control. Here's the headline on your piece: cancel culture goes crazy, claiming classics, cartoons, and the Confederacy. As we said, if everyone from journalists to entertainers to cartoon characters can be jettisoned simply because one group or another is offended, any sense of fairness will indeed be gone with the wind. Nice turn of phrase there, of course. Where's this all headed?
Yeah, well, of course, I use Gone with the Wind because HBO has decided it can't possibly show this movie without packaging it with a racial discussion.
It may be what somebody you don't like is saying, and, you know, you're okay with the cancel culture, but tomorrow it might be something that you say or something that you believe that's being canceled out. So be careful about the cancel culture, because it could turn around real quickly.
After all, in the 1990s, conservatives were once upset about Disney and the Teletubbies being too gay-friendly. In 2012, a boycott was raged against JCPenney for naming gay comedian Ellen DeGeneres as a spokesperson. Insert your cliche here: not having your cake and eating it too, or can't have it both ways. Your choice. Choice, a freedom often celebrated in America. Speech, also a freedom often renowned in America.
You know, this idea of purity and you're never compromised and you're always politically woke and all that stuff, you should get over that quickly. The world is messy. There are ambiguities. Yep. People who do really good stuff, have flaws. People who you are fighting may love their kids. One danger I see among young people, particularly on college campuses, Malia and I talk about this. Yara goes to school with my daughter. But I do get a sense sometimes now among certain young people, and this is accelerated by social media, there is this sense sometimes of the way of me making change is to be as judgmental as possible about other people. And that's enough. Like if I tweet or hashtag about how you didn't do something right or used the wrong verb, or then I can sit back and feel pretty good about myself because, man, you see how woke I was? I called you out. You know, that's not activism. That's not bringing about change. You know, if all you're doing is casting stones, you know, you're probably not going to get that far. That's easy to do.
In fact, Angelo Carson, president of Media Matters for America, who arguably himself has had issues of insensitivity in the past, appears to indicate why all of these boycotts and protests are taking place, stating, "Politics is broken. People feel impotent and powerless. You call your congressman and nothing happens. There's something really satisfying and empowering about leveraging your power as a consumer, especially when a multi-billion-dollar company replies. It recognizes that you exist."
Well, and I think the idea that people there is power to the dollar. If you want people to not buy something because you don't support it, you know, fine. But the fact that Kaepernick's jersey is one of the top selling jerseys right now might be speaking to the volume of the conversation and where people are right now.
And let us never forget that protesting is one of the great things that we do in this country. That's how we got the civil rights movement through.
Yeah.
That's how people were able to bring light to what was happening in Vietnam. It is your right. I understand. It's not that they hate America. They're angry because the America that they know that this anthem represents isn't representing them in their opinion. And that's a valid conversation, and you have to start with that. People didn't like it when people were protesting the war in Vietnam. They didn't like it when people were protesting because we wanted to vote. People don't. If people don't like what you're doing, there might be something to what you're doing. Yep. Just to say.
Getting back to Ivanka and people refusing to listen to what she had to say in the commencement speech. Perhaps we should consider what Ivanka has to say, because she did tweet something important. Following her cancellation, she wrote on Twitter, "Listening to one another is important now, more than ever."